get going. Rose and I texted for the entire day. It was a Friday, so most classes weren't giving out homework anyways. Thankfully, Fang seemed more usual self in the classes we shared. So I want to point out, by the way, I recently learned that up until like a couple of decades ago, like apparently Japan had school on Saturdays. What the heck? She even teased me that I'd never be able to survive Rosa's cooking. It was nice going back to the way things were between Fang and I, like we were friends again, just friends. So why do I still feel so awkward when I'm around her? I mean, why don't you feel awkward around Trish? Fang's non-binary. Trish is the gal pal in the group, buddy. I mean, she will kill you with snoo snoo or anything else, but that time on the roof when she and I think of that day, my insides feel like they would squirm out of my mouth. There's nothing quite as hot as being covered in the blood and sweat and melting mascara of a woman. I think I should date a zombie or something. But when I think about Rosa, I feel the same way. And on your human body has not evolved to explicitly and exclusively like a single person. It's gonna go badonkadonk for two people at once. Ah, fuck. High school was supposed to be easy. This specific high school, uppercase, there's a lot of weird stuff, but I've already said we're not focusing on that. I wasn't supposed to land a girl, let alone friends. I wasn't supposed to care. My weekend passed in a blur. Finally got that legendary deathless run taken care of, I guess. Oh shit, we're fast forwarding, baby. As promised, I met up with Fang on Saturday to find a new venue for the band. What Saturday? Your weekend passed in a blur, buddy. Shouldn't you say Saturday? Whatever. Nasser and Naomi insisted on tagging along. No, it was the parents who made them, right? There you go. Although I suspect they only came because Fang's dad is going to kill me. This is explicitly stated in the text of the actual thing. Like, you can't just suddenly be like, actually, a bit of a side tangent, you know, slight. God, I'm gonna follow this fucking blog. I'm more of this shit. I'm more of this goofy boys. Oh, I mean, I got the acid. It's always the acid. In Technicolor. He and her mom definitely thought this was which it wasn't. We were just hanging out. Besides, if it was that thing that it certainly wasn't, it would have ended in disaster. Uppercase. Also, I'm pretty sure that, periods and exclamation points go on the inside of quotations. But I don't know, man. That stuff's always confused me. Naomi kept prying into my relationship with Rosa, asking all sorts of stupid questions. How we were doing, if our differences were causing trouble. I'm pretty sure there's as many differences between you and Rosa as you and Fang. Like, Fang likes a lot of weird bands and stuff. Like, people are like, you know, Rosa, but Rosa's like, yeah, Fang is probably a bit more to what you are. Actually, no. Nationality-wise, maybe, but that's like the slimmest margin for you people. She was totally trying to manipulate me into saying something, but Fang told her to shut the fuck up. She told her to STFO? God dang, man. That ain't no date. That ain't no date. That ain't date. No date, it ain't. Oh, man. Honestly, I seemed frazzled by the whole thing. By the time we found a place to play, Dino Mo's or would-be uncle's pizza place, I thought Fang was going to choke Naomi with her own tongue. So I've heard someone once say, you can't speak in brackets. You can. You are allowed to make an offhand remark that technically qualifies as a bracketed statement in verbal speech. Contrasted, of course, by nonverbal speech. Fang barely said goodbye to me that night, mumbling her thanks as her dad practically slammed the door in my face. I mean, shouldn't her dad be like super duper happy that it's not a date? Sunday wasn't much better either. Rosa's mom ended up being too sick to come to the service, so she and Rosa's dad stayed home. Chance to be alone with Rosa would have normally been a dream come true. Like, honestly, Anon, if you're in between two girls, can you at least, you know, like, this is supposed to be the Rosa route, right? Except for the fact that it was spent entirely listening to an old bag of bones prattle on about made-up religious junk in Spanish. No, it's Latin, you fucking idiot. They're one of those churches. Longest 3 hours of my life. Yeah, we got Stella! Every time I see Stella, I'm reminded that there exists this alternative form of Stella that I just forget exists a lot of the time. You know, the Goodbye Volcano High one. Because, like, a lot of the characters from this look like they do in Volcano High, so the mental switch isn't too big. And Rosa's, you know, close enough, and Sage doesn't even show up. But, man, Stella's just different. Like, in so many little ways. I do think I still like Goodbye Volcano High Stella a bit better. If only because the world needs more, you know, a little bit of that body diversity. Not every woman needs to be... Listen, I'm saying that because I saw art of Mae Borowski, and she was not like a fucking tiny-ass asshole. She was 6 feet tall and skinny and, you know, like, sexy. And even though Mae Borowski in Night in the Woods is explicitly talking like, I'm A short, B fat, and C, she's more muscular than she is probably slender. So, like, fuck you for drawing Mae Borowski like that. Give me the lady who can just fucking nut punch me into next Tuesday. Because that's what she is. Let me have it. Ah! I regret nothing. Oh. I do think it's funny that every character on the Goodbye Volcano High wiki, their age is like X plus 1 at the end of the game. Come on, man. It's such a weird thing that wikis do. It's like, yeah, the game takes place over the course of a fucking year. Of course. Body portions adjustments. Wait, what? What the hell is this? Hold on. Hold on. Hold the phone. There's a section here I didn't even know existed. I gotta do some math-magic here, buddies. Hold on. Hold on. No, don't do that. Do this? I want to overlay them. No, this... Safi, open your Clip Studio Paint. It's specifically made for this. Okay, we're gonna... We overlay them, and then we copy, and then we paste. And now we got 2 layers, and I can make this layer like 50% transparent, and we can overlay the Stellas. Okay, so if we do this, what do we end up with? What do we have here? Wow, she's like an eye height taller. Which one's the real one? I can move the thing. Oh man, her legs got so chunky when she grew up. Everything about her got thicker, like even the sweater. I thought the whole point was that it was just like a puffy sweater. Not that it was actually filled up by meat. Because, you know, her hands don't feel like they would make sense in that context. Like, a lot of stuff. How weird. Which direction was this changed? Like left to right or right to left? The concept art of her kissing Rosa during this iteration exists. Rosa. I think Rosa's so underplayed. Listen, I mean this in like Goodbye Volcano High and Snoot Game, which is why Rosa route is nice thing. Nice thing. You know, she's not a main character, so who cares? Don't give your economics of character to the wrong person. It fucks up your game. When the dating sim concept was dropped, Rosa was folded into the main story. Her early designs featured her with a slimmer body. Yeah, she's small. She's slimmer in the shorter version. So they just injected her with steroids and grease. Short sleeves that have longer sleeves. The sleeves are the same length. Or are we talking about the concept art? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the concept art they probably used for the actual character in Snoot Game. Because that's a hell of a change they made. Rose and Stella were given larger bodies because the developers... Listen, if you're not going to fucking put it in from day one, right? Don't be like that, right? I don't feel you should be like that with your characters. Like, if you're going to go through the iteration process, don't just select all and stretch them out, you know? I like the kiss picture they got, though. Although the kiss picture does oddly look like it's already rendered because the line art's so uniform and kind of angular in a weird way. Do they have a comparison here for like... Oh, the head shape revision. Yeah, they added the muzzle slope instead of making it a straight line. I don't know why they did that. I mean, it looks better. It also, means the eyes can actually look over the nose to some extent. I do not see what's going on here. Listen, people who run the wiki. If you're gonna have Rosa in-game and Lava Java and then have a render, why even include the in-game one? Because you're already using the render and... Just saying, man. Being weird. Gosh, I've forgotten so much about Volcano High. It's just vanished out of my brain over time, hasn't it? It's almost a relief when Monday came around. Again, Rosa, just stand up straight. You'll be the tallest person in the room. Rosa and I may not get to see each other much with her family, but at least at school we can spend some time together, even if Stella happens to be there as well. 3 of us were eating lunch, with the band taking this time to practice. So in a few days until their concert, so they were making the most of it. Rose and I were holding hands underneath the table, a habit we picked up since our first date. How have you not been slaughtered by Fang yet, my man? Too bad, it made eating impossible. Listen, buddy, it's a compromise. It's called a compromise, okay? You can't expect every part of your relationship to be perfect. I still worry they're practicing too hard. I turned my attention away from the paradox of how one cuts one's lunch with one hand. You try a little harder. You try a little harder. Buddy, you got put in the elbow grease. It must be difficult. Practicing when no one wants to see. Rosa's voice trailed off. It was true, the first concert had... Wasn't it implied that this has, happened before? Okay, it tanked. But surely they've improved. Right. How long does it take to go from a total disaster to being anything remotely good is a good question. I mean, they swapped guitars, I guess. I chime in, having abandoned all attempts to cut my steak with the cafeteria-issue spork knife hybrid. Pretty sure that's called a spoif? A spoif? I don't even know. At least they aren't using that god-awful double bass setup. I mentally cringe. I remember when Reed whipped out his phone to show everyone a recording of Wormdown in his early days. Ouch. I'm sure they'll be fine. Rosa gives me a look, the same one she always does when I blaspheme in front of her. She's always cross-eyed, though. It's like, oh man, they lowered the bridge of my snoot, I can see, and she's just been exploiting it every day since. Still, Anon, is there nothing we can do? Oh, Rosa, relax. Stella's overly cheery voice came from in between sips from some imported Japanese soda. For some reason, it's Kit Kat flavored, and I'm terrified of her power level to just endure this. When I pretend not to know. I did a tarot reading the other day, asking about the show. The results were very favorable. Stella takes another sip of soda, acting as though a tarot reading ensured the band's success. I mean, Stella, we have a 1 in 4 chance of ending up somewhere good. From dude to man, but also small. Aw, poor guy. This is adorable. There's a very specific piece stuck in my throat. Rosa waggled her finger at Stella, a gesture she did often when Stella's tarot readings came up. There's got to be something besides your Diablos worship we can do, though. Maybe if we went around school handing out invites and... I recognize that tone. If I didn't step up, Rosa would have a plan to bring the entire school to the concert, and probably church afterward if only out of guilt. Well, just have to be there to support Fang and the band. Hope Rosa didn't read too much into that. And speaking of being there, this was my moment of truth. I'd been meaning to ask Rosa officially to the concert for a while now, but I never managed to work up the nerve. It was now or never. Rosa, do you want to... All right, good start? You know, getting dicier and on push through it. I realize I've been staring at my food the whole time. Oh man, he can't even propose a date. Well, look at this poor man. I'm grabbing his cheeks and like wobbling them around. Look at this poor man. He's just a poor little man. I like how someone told me, "Hey, remind me of the meds," and they're like an hour late from even waking up. Like, what's going on there, buddy? So what exactly are you going from dude to man? I realize I've been staring at my food this entire time. A concert, me go with. Fuck, abandoned ship. Spaghetti overload. Glancing shyly at Rosa, I see a huge grin on her face. That's. Where is my proper little wiggly N? Oh man, it's Birthmas. Happy Birthmas. Why doesn't she call him a Nino? That's all I want to know. Although I guess that is like calling him a little man. And it's just a little man. It's Fang Friday and Fallout Friday. Is it Fang Fallout Friday or Fallout Fang Friday? You tell me, Mr. Dave. Nino, if I did not know any better, I would say you were asking me how to go. You were asking me to go to the concert with you. She gives my hand a squeeze. You're literally holding her goddamn hand through this request, you goddamn loser! At this rate, I'm going to faceplant my food. I'm sure with how hot that feels on my face, I could reheat the whole thing a bit. Jeez, was it that obvious? Rosa covers her mouth with a spare hand. Oh, no, see. I kinda liked it. I swear to God, she's laughing. I just asked her to Fang's concert and she's laughing. See, I will go out with you alone. I'm just glad you asked me before I had to ask you. Rosa's crimson eyes lock with mine, filled as ever with the sweetest promises I could imagine. Compare them to Rosa's. Do it, you motherfucker. You know you want to. Big dick energy. Compare them to the fireballs of nuclear wastelands. Compare them to the pool of blood for the blood god. Come on!